Hello everybody and welcome to my shop. Today we're gonna start a furniture build. It's gonna be a table for the lumber room. It's gonna be a table that is attached to the wall partially and folds down with legs coming out of it that are resting on the floor, so we can pick up the clothes coming from the dryer and fold them onto the table. It should be an interesting build because it's going to be sandwich construction, and it's going to have plywood and exotic woods, so it should be interesting. So let's go and check out the 3D CAD to start with, so you can get a feel of what we're trying to accomplish here. Come on. Okay, so here it is. So this is a table as it lays flat on the wall. All you see in purple will be a butcher block construction of exotic wood, and the back here, the gray part, will be on the wall. It will not move, only the top will go down like so. Let me show you, like so here. Tuck. Went too far, so you can go up, down. So obviously you have the wall there, and then you have a floor here. So these legs will lay on the floor and gonna prevent it from moving. So it's gonna be like so, like so. Okay, so all the purple will be butcher block exotic. You see these face up and face on the wall, so it's nice. When it's black, it's going to be painted black, and when you see blue, it means I need to go around or wrap around with the exotic wood. So it's going to be 2 miters, one on each side here to wrap around. And you see multiple layers here, 4, because I'm using a 1/4 inch thickness. So you see 2 blue pieces here. These are 2 1/4 inch thick plywood. So that's 1/2 inch and a 1/4 inch on the top and a 1/4 inch on the bottom. And here you see there's 3 sheets of plywood and then just the top of exotic wood. Actually need to put exotic wood on the back, which is gonna go on the wall. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's what we're gonna try to build. Go up and down like this. So wish me luck. Let's see what we can come up with. So I'm starting with a 1/4 sheet of plywood, taking out the track and busting out the track saw. You can do exactly the same on the circ saw with a guide or on a table saw, but I find it easier since I have one just to use it. So I keep cutting my plywood. And as you see, my track is too short. I should get another piece to make sure I can cut the full sheet, but I don't have one, so I just use what I have. So far so good. Now I'm gonna cut a thin strip of plywood on the table saw. It's easier with a fence, makes it easy. It's very thin, so I'm making sure it stays on the table. And as you can maybe hear, it sounds like it's vibrating a little bit. And to be honest, I don't have the right blade on because I'm too lazy to change it. And as you can see on the back, I need an outfit table. That's something we're gonna do next. So here I'm taking the piece behind the blade very carefully, because you're not supposed to put your hand behind the blade, so try not to do that. And then I cut to length using the miter saw. I think it's plenty accurate enough for what I'm doing, so I just use the miter saw. I don't take out my sled for my table saw. It's not worth it. And I use a piece I cut to cut the other pieces, so I don't have to measure anything. And cut. And you know what we say, measure once, measure twice, cut once. Yep, but we don't tell you measure once, measure twice, and cut on the right side of the line. And that's what happened here. I put the track on the wrong side, which means my blade curve was on the wrong side of the board. So now my board is short 1/8 of an inch. Luckily, I have enough plywood, so I'll be able to cut this piece again. But good lesson for me, put the track on the correct side of the board. So let's do it again. And that's what it's supposed to look like at the end. So I'm just making sure the pieces are correct before gluing up. So let's see what it does. So this is the top. That's gonna flip up and down. And this is the bottom, and will stay on the wall. Here you go. So this is the frame, and these are the two legs, and on top of that we'll put some exotic woods. So this is all the plywood frame cut. Ta-da! Sounds good. Looks good. Looks good. And now it's time for glue up. So wish me luck here. So this glue up takes a lot of glue. I'm spreading with a roller, and then I'm putting some weight on it to make sure it's gonna stay flat. And I'm trying to glue both pieces at the same time, and for this I use a level which I clamped on my bench to make it easy, and then I repeat on the other side. It works pretty good. And then I do the last piece, so rinse and repeat, same thing, and put some weight on it, and when it's dry take out the weight and see what we got. So it is glued, but there are gaps. I didn't put enough weight on there. I need to fix that. I'm gonna put it in the vise and use some tape instead. Let's do that. So I'm shoving some glue in there with a piece of wood and put some tape to close the gap. That's pretty much all what I'm doing. When everything is dry, I go to the jointer and make sure I got a straight edge for the next steps. And then I go to the table saw and cut to the right width, and the frame is done. Let's now take care of the exotic wood, which I buy at my local wood store. So we're gonna start cutting to rough length all the pieces on the miter saw. So let's cut it. Cut. More cut. Cut. Cut, 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 cut. And now I need to go to the jointer to create a flat face and a flat edge, and hopefully 90 degrees apart, so we can serve as references for the rest of the cuts. And I need to do that for all the pieces of wood. It's gonna take a while, but let's stop here for a second. This one's going to be a very good example of how a jointer works. You see in the middle of a board, the gap between the infeed table, and you see as I go pass after pass, now the gap is entirely gone. That's the magic of a jointer. And then I need to go to a table saw to cut the right width, which is 3 inches. And again, rinse and repeat for everything. After this, we're gonna have boards dimensioned to their approximate length, right width, and then we're gonna need to do resawing to get the appropriate thickness. But let's take a look at the wood before we go to the next part. Paduk, canary wood, sapele, yellow heart, purple heart, and others we'll see. So now we can start resawing, and we'll have one flat face and one rough one, which will be on the top side. I sped up the video here because it takes a while. I sped it up at least 10 times here. Here is how it looks. I don't know what's going on with this resawing, but it's very satisfying watching this. So I like it. I'm giving you a couple more with different angles. And as you can see here, we have a shop dog waiting. All he wants is to be petted. Yeah, you're a good boy, Abe. I promise this is the last one. Just last one for the ride before we move to the next step. I didn't record the layout, but that's about what it's gonna look like. So it's two pieces, and this thing is gonna fold like this, 90 degrees, and we're gonna have two legs popping up. I just need to mark where all these are gonna go. So all I need to do now is cut the pieces to length and add the miters on the corners and repeat all the way till the end. Let's glue the pieces together. For this I use wood glue and CA glue to act as a clamp to make it easier on me. So let's finish up. So half of the top is glued together here. You see legs are here. We're not glued, but it's taking shape. Next step here will be to sand this so it's even everywhere on one side, and then we'll be able to start on the other side. So I think I'm gonna do the top here before I work on the bottom half. We'll see. So we're gonna start by sanding the entire panel at the drum sander. Takes a while because I resewn some pieces way too thick. I can't believe how much dust this thing just creates. I'm amazed by the surface finish of this thing. It's crazy. I love this machine. So let's take this to the table and keep working. I made this simple shooting board here to be able to cut 45 degrees because the pieces are too small to be cut safely on any of my machines. I don't want to put my fingers close to the blade, so I'm using this here. It's fairly easy. It's a stop here, that's 3/4 inch plywood, a base plate that's also 3/4 inch plywood, another plate which is glued and nailed on top with a 45-degree angle, and a backer. The backer, you see here, it's rough and rough, but I jointed and cut 45 degrees here. You just hook it to your bench like this and go to town. So you see there's already one 45 degree on here which was cut with the table saw because the pieces were long enough for me to hold the piece, but these are way too small. But with a hand plane like this, so that's this one is a Stanley 4.5, which rides here on the fence here and on the guide there, and you just put your piece like this and go to town. Let me show you closer, but it works easy. You see here, start making. Let me put you closer so you can see me start making a 45-degree chamfer. It's a perfect one too. Not there yet, but it's coming. Getting close. Okay. So here are some small corner pieces. Let's glue them to a table now. So now let's work on the other side. So the other side, all the pieces are cut. I'm going to transfer from a table saw to the assembly table, all the pieces, and I'm missing one. I don't know where it went, so I need to make another one. Luckily I have other pieces left over so I can use them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the right side, the right length for this tiny piece before doing anything else. Done. There are massive gaps in between the boards because I didn't pay attention and good enough and they moved on me. So now I need to fix it. I'm gonna fix it with some wedges which I'll sand so we can fit, or even use a hand plane to make it quicker. Let's now level everything. For this I'm gonna use the belt sander, and here I'm just setting it up so it's high enough so I don't have to play too long. So the sticks are about the thickness of this board. So let's go ahead and run with it. And guess what? I forgot to turn on the dust collector. So look at the dust over there. So the machine is working really hard, and I blew a breaker. So then I had to flip the breaker and turn the dust collector on, and then it works much better. Let's do it again. And then guess what? Yep, I burned the paper in 3 places. Let's call it good for the day. I can sand it later with a hand sander. Let's now trim the edges to make it even so I can put the hinges in there. And for this I need to change the blade to one more appropriate with more tooth count. Not a reaping blade, but a blade for fin stock. Let's do that. I need to tighten the two screws and let them in. that's what we're gonna use for hinges. Your full opening, and it goes straight in the middle of the board, and then like this. Here you go. SOSS invisible hinges. This is a template here. I'm gonna use that.
I'm marking where I'm gonna put the hinges and then use the router to route where the hinges are gonna go.
Well, surprise, surprise, when I got in this morning, let's see what I found. It's not flat anymore. Yeah, it's all crooked. But luckily, you see in front of it, I bought some 3/4 inch flat bar, which I was planning to put on the underside because I knew it was gonna do this. So I need to take care of this before I do anything else. So let's do that. We need to wait for about an hour so it cures. So let's do that. 7/16 wide and 5/16 deep, and then we're gonna adjust.
At this moment, I realize that the bait is walking because I can start seeing some exotic woods, which is no good. So I'm going to check with my calipers and see what the deal is. And yeah, for sure, going too deep.
Osmo Polyex. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll catch you later. Let's see some B-rolls of this baby finished. So after months of working on this thing, it is finally done. I'm so happy and it looks awesome to me. Thank you guys again for sticking with me. Thank you all. Like and subscribe if you want some other builds like this. Thank you.